Welcome to the new season, Volume 2 of Crown Level Confidence Podcast. I'm Regina, your dedicated host. I'm a wife, mom, entrepreneur, certified life coach, and motivational speaker. I've got a background in humanities, communication, and I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. This podcast is your go-to source for empowerment and to inspire your journey toward unshakable confidence and fortified self-belief. In this volume, I'm bringing you fresh conversations and uplifting stories from incredible individuals who have overcome many obstacles in their lives and still achieved greatness. Get ready to elevate your mindset, embrace your power, and shine like the star you are. Let's embark on this journey together and straighten up your crown. Let's jump right in. Well, hello, y'all. Welcome to this newest episode of Crown Level Confidence Podcast. I'm your host, Regina, and we are here to help women worldwide lower their stress and raise their level of confidence. And y'all, I am so honored. We have, yes, royalty in the building, y'all. I have Regina Woodward, aka the Queen of Car Loans, here with us. Regina, say hey.
Good morning. Hey, well, good morning, good afternoon, or happy midday, or whatever time you're going to be listening to this beautiful podcast. Hello.
All right. Awesome. So y'all, if you have, you may be listening to this podcast and you're already a follower of Regina, or you may be meeting her for the first time. So let me let you know a little bit about her before we jump into this wonderful conversation we're about to have. So Regina Woodward, known as the Queen of Car Loans, has over 20 years of experience in the automotive industry, currently at Joe Lunghammer Chevrolet in Waterford, Michigan. She has a background in mortgage banking and specializes in special finances, ensuring clients get the best deals. Regina's dedication is evident in her customer-focused approach and her success in the industry. A former top basketball player at Oakland Community College, she's earned a bachelor's degree in sociology from Oakland University. And side note, this is not in her bio, but if you've seen her, she is a powerhouse Glamazon, gorgeous, super tall, and I love it. She's passionate about youth. She founded the Queen's Future Successors, a nonprofit promoting financial health education. Regina volunteers in various community initiatives, including Pontiac School District programs and Pontiac Panthers Youth Football and Cheer. She also serves on several boards, including Pontiac Meals on Wheels. Regina hosts Be in the Driver's Seat every Sunday morning and can be found at www.reginathequeenofcarloans.com. Y'all, isn't she amazing? Give it up for the Queen of Car Loans, Regina.
Thank you for having me this morning. Hey, you know, I'm at work and I'm in the service eating area where the refrigerator is. So, you know, when you do what we do, we got to do it wherever we can do it, right?
Absolutely. We get it in where we can fit it in.
Right.
Of course. So, Regina, you've accomplished so much in your, looking at you, very short time here on Earth. So tell us a little bit more about yourself. What don't we know yet about you?
So a lot of people don't know I'm passionate for people. I actually work at a dealership in Michigan. I specialize with customers that have bruised credit. I like to say bruised credit, but most people say bad credit. But you know, I specialize and I help people that have been in a situation get out the situation. I help them get into an auto loan. And one thing what people don't know about me is that I graduated from college. I got associates in psychology, and I have a bachelor's in psychology. So sociology and psychology. Had no clue that I would be in the automobile business. I actually wanted to be a social worker. And I ended up in the car business. So I'm very blessed to be here and sustained a blueprint on this earth in Michigan, and now trying to creep around the world by being on your podcast.
Hey, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, yes, it sounds like you definitely have people in mind. You know, at the heart of your core, you are in service to others and people of all ages. You know, you're serving boys and girls and women and men, families really that are being impacted for generations to come because you are able to service them with their bruised credit, right? Their
Yes.
product of their current circumstance, but it doesn't have to be their only circumstance. And so that is really great that you're in the position to be able to do that. So since we're talking about circumstances and family management and future management, what exactly is the importance of a credit score? I see a lot of, commercials about Experian Boost and, other things. Everyone's talking about credit, but what does it really all mean?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked because I'm glad you asked that question because that leads into my ebook that I actually am giving away for free. And the importance of a credit score, as I want to tell people, is that in my definitions and the reasons why I think it's important, because you need a credit score, a great credit score to be able to get auto insurance. If you want to get a good rate on your automobile insurance and you want to save, you got to have a good credit score. They pull your auto score, they pull your insurance score, and they're looking at, how you pay your bills. They don't pull a credit report, but they got their own way of, rating you. And then one thing that people don't know, Kalia, is that when you have automobile insurance, if you're driving a car, now I'm in Michigan, but I don't know what it's like where you are, but in Michigan, if you have an auto car now and you don't have insurance on it, because we call it riding dirty, then they're going to penalize you when you come in to get that your next car, whether it's a new or used car. So that's one reason why you want to make sure your credit score is pretty decent or good, is because auto insurance. The next reason you want to think about your credit score is, of course, for a car loan. And then you got a mortgage. And then, even getting a cell phone. Basic thing is getting a cell phone.
Wow.
If you have bad credit, and they may require you to put a security deposit down. And who wants to put a $250 security deposit down or $100 security deposit down on a cell phone? So that's the reason why you want, to have that. That's the reason why you should have a great credit score, or you're going to pay a little bit more.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds expensive, right? In the long run, if you're not, up to the standard of where you should be for what you want to have and the things you want to be able to do. Just simple things, like you said, as basic as a cell phone, right? Like who doesn't want to be able to be reached, it's in some capacity, let alone keeping up, with the world. So I see a lot of posts on Facebook, and I know they're jokes most of the time. Maybe you've seen these where people are like, my credit score is 400 and I'm at BMW. What can I get? And everyone is like, away, you can get away. But in reality, though, for someone who may be in the position to want to get a new car or another car, it's been a while since they've been in a dealership, or maybe they're shopping for their first car, what information should someone have to be prepared before they get to the dealership so they're not sitting there kind of awkward and uncomfortable and unsure?
Well, first of all, I would say you want to make sure you know your budget, what you can afford, because you may walk in for one payment and you come out with another. A lot of people, when they are putting their budget together, they're not putting, they may have all their expenses there, but they're not thinking about, okay, I got my car payment, I think of what I can afford, but how much is my insurance going to be? So you need to go over your budget, put your expenses down, and really think about, if you go in, you say you want to be at $400 a month, depends on what your credit score, you might be $200 more, or you might be $150 more. So it's very important that you get your budget together. That's number one. What can you afford? And know that dealerships, all lenders take your gross. Now, your gross is before your taxes, not your take home, not what you put in your account, but that's what they look at. Now, they're not looking at all the other expenses that you may have that are not really, like, they're going to take in consideration your rent. They're going to take consideration your credit card bill, if you have a credit card bill. And a lot of people think that, if they live with family, that they're not going to include you and say you're going to have rent. But yeah, they do, because most people say, I live with family, and they really pay rent. So they're going to be looking at your rent. They're going to be looking again at your credit card. But another thing, besides your expenses, or what you can afford, you need to be thinking about your insurance. How much is your insurance going to cost you? because people don't know that, okay, you know what, if I get my rentals insurance connected as a bundle with it, I'll be able to save on my monthly insurance payment. Or if I pay my insurance up for 1 year for six, or not 1 year, for 6 months, or if a year, if you can afford it, then may get that $400 or $500 savings. And then the next thing you want to think about, and I know I'm asking your questions with a lot of other answers, right? But that's just what I do. But besides that, another thing what you want to think about is, getting pre-approved. You may know what vehicle you want, but I always tell customers, you get 3 options, if you can't get that car. But you want to get pre-approved. People that my customers that come to see me, I send them to my website, reginathequeenofcarloans.com. And I say, you know what? Pick out a car you want, put a credit application in. Let me do the work before you enter the dealership so that when you come in, I'll know what you'll qualify for and what you can do. And honestly, I say this clear, whether you have good credit or bad credit, because the worst thing you want to do is get to the dealership and spend time. Every time is money for everybody, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you work for someone, you're W-2. Time is important.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's interesting. I've been privileged, blessed enough to be able to buy my first home with Daniel, my husband. And a lot of what you're saying in terms of preparedness really closely reminds me of the home buying process. And I know you have a background in mortgage banking, but it's true, being prepared for these, what the cool kids say, adulting activities.
Yes.
Not just showing up like, I'm gonna get a car today. Oh, you're gonna get something and it may not be what you want, long term. So being prepared, knowing what to expect is always going to be the best way to set yourself up for success. So candidly, I want to ask you, this is a podcast where we underscore everything in the realm of confidence. Right. And a lot of people, you may hear this from time to time. They're like, oh, car dealerships, they're so shady, or they're out to get you and, whatever. So how can someone, obviously they need to be prepared, but even if they dot their I's and cross their T's, how can they be sure they have the confidence in picking the right dealership or going for the right deal? Like, what can help them have a better experience?
Well, you know what, when you do anything, let me just say this. The best way to find out whether you're going to have great experience is do your homework. To me, the best way to get the right person is if you can get a referral. If you're looking for that particular car, then look around your neighborhood or ask your friends, or say your next door neighbor. What kind of car is your next door neighbor driving? Where did they buy their car from? You may not know, right? But you have that candid conversation. Or you look at their plate. Most dealerships have, plate frames. Where did they buy their car from? And then you look up on Google reviews on that particular dealership. And then you can go on the dealership website sometime and look at the person and see whether they, see who you want on the dealership website page, right? But then also you can also, if you identify that person, you can look their Facebook page up. You can look them up on LinkedIn. You can do your homework and look at social media platform and see what kind of person they are. I'm very particular what I post is because, you have to be, as right?
Yeah.
People are sneaking in your pages. They want to know what you do. They want to make sure you're that right person. And Kalia, myself, I'm the same way all the time. Whether you got good credit, bad credit, it does not matter. I'm the same person. It does not matter. I'm straight to the point. I'm up front. And I don't play those games, right?
Yeah.
And I'll wake up and I might have that same conversation at 8 o'clock in the morning if you call or text me to maybe 9 or 10 o'clock at night. The same tone, firm tone. So identify that person by doing your background, doing your backdoor search.
Yeah.
That's my best advice.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, okay. What are some? So I do my research, right? I know my budget. I get to the dealership. I'm ready to go. I'm like, boom! I'm here to see. Let's just use the most generic name in the United States. I'm here to see John, right? I'm here to get my Audi. Whatever it is, right? I'm here. But say I get there and it doesn't quite add up. What are some red flags that people need to be? That they should be prepared for if it's not a good deal? Of course, if it's you, it's a good deal. That's why I didn't use your name. But if for whatever reason they're not heading over to see you in particular, what are some red flags that people need to be aware of to say, oh, you might not want to sign on the line?
Well, first of all, to me, the best way to not have red flag is to do your homework, number one. Number two is make an appointment to go to the dealership. Because popping in, you want that person to have that time that time to give you the time that you need. It's just like when you go get your hair done, you get a facial, you get anything. You want that time, whether it's a half hour, you want that time, right? But one red flag could be is if the person's not looking you in your face and talking to you. You know,
Mm.
if they can't give you eye contact and they're not speaking, looking in your face. If they're always looking around, that's a red flag. And another red flag is if they don't know the answer to a question that you ask them and they kind of blow you off, that's a red flag. Because I've been in this business for 26 years and some things that I don't know, right? But I'm gonna go get the answer. That's why you have sales managers. That's why you have managers. That's why you have
Mhm.
finance managers, right? So, and if the eye contact is the main thing, to me, that's a red flag. And then another red flag if they're pushy. If the
Mhm.
person's real pushy, you got to do it right now. Not pushy a little bit, but I'm always pushy, right?
Right.
But I try to give you. You tell me that you need some time to think about it. I'm okay with that. But one thing what I want to do is, or I would do is overcome your objectives. Overcome the objectives. What's the problem? Do
Mhm.
we have all the people sitting at the table? Do you have to, is your husband here? Is
Mhm.
your girlfriend here? Or is your dad here? Who's helping you make that decision?
Mhm.
So red flags sometimes happen with salespeople or finance managers, periods, because they haven't covered the basics. If we always say to now is the right time, but now if now is not the right time, then you need to say now is the right time.
Mhm.
Respect that up front. So red flag is somebody being pushy, don't have time for you, and just figure it needs to be today. So that's why I always tell customers clear is that if you're not ready right now and you're ready 3 months from now, 4 months from now, don't go in and waste the dealership time. Do your homework first, because once you enter that dealership, we are ready to close the deal. We're ready to
Mhm.
get it closed, because we honestly, we worry about right now, our bills right now. We ain't worried about our bills for 3 months from now,
Right.
4 months from now. We're right now people.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think it's important to have that respect. It's like a two-way street, like you're saying, as a customer or a potential customer, we should respect your time. You're professional, you're at work. Why should we, let me pick your brain? No, that's what the internet is for. So Regina is telling you the queen has spoken. Okay, y'all. Google it. Do your research before you get to the dealership and and support. If you're in the local area and you can get to Regina, then by all means support her. If you can't get to her, then maybe she can refer you to someone in your area, or like we mentioned, there's the internet, you've got the world at your fingertips. But the point is, we have all these expectations as customers, and we need to be
Yeah.
considerate of the professional's time as well. So do your part. Okay, be smart and do your part. All right, so I have another question, because Daniel and I go back and forth about this. When we're thinking about our next car, I got my eyes set on a new Chrysler Pacifica with all the things, right? And Daniel's like, we're not ready for that. And I'm like, you see these babies? Yes, we are. So, so it always comes up every time it's time to get a car. Is it better to lease or to buy? Now, I'm a road trip girl, and I'm always so scared of like getting a lease and then going over the miles. But then I'm also not a maintenance person. So I'm like, ooh, a lease, do they do the maintenance? I just pull up and they do the oil change. So explain, because if I'm going back and forth, I'm sure plenty of other people are going back and forth. How do you know if it's better to lease or to buy?
Well, it really just depends on, what now people lease because they want to keep a car a short period of time and they want to get out of it. If you were that long-term person and you think that you need to own it, then you buy. The reason people lease because they want a newer car uh, faster. They want a new car within those 2 or 3 years or those 39 months. And when you buy a car, you have to deal with the the issue of trading your car in, looking to see how much it's worth compared to what you owe. Now, a lot of people say, you know what, maybe I travel a lot of miles. Well, you can buy more miles up front. You have to look at the last couple years, the last 3 years. How many miles did you put on your vehicle? Buy your miles up front, buy more miles, right? Because so you won't go over the miles. I know GM charges 25 cents a mile if you go over the miles, but buy more miles up front. And then myself is I've kept my last vehicles and I'm leasing. I've kept my last vehicles. I did a 3-year lease. I kept it for 2 years. And then I got out early because of the kind of vehicle I drive. I was able to sell my vehicle and get into another one. Now I've been in my vehicle almost a year. August be a year. I'm getting into another one. I'm taking a little small loss, right? But just a small one, but I'm getting into another vehicle. So leasing are for individuals, Talia, that want to get a new vehicle every couple years or every 3 years. But far as maintaining your vehicle, and because you got kids, some things may happen in interior, happen in outside. You can get SS wear. And we at General Motors, I think it's up to SS wear of $1,000. I don't know what it is at Chrysler, but they have SS wear. So if you get into anything wrong with your vehicle or something happens with it, then you can have $1,000 covered on your vehicle. And as long as you take care of your vehicle like you do your regular vehicle, you'll be fine. But it's just that new comfort of getting that new vehicle and then most cases now is back to reality since COVID, where you can get that lower payment for that lease versus back about a year ago, a couple years ago. A lot of people bought cars because maybe the leasing payment was, maybe the buy payment on the car versus lease payment, the buy payment was $40 more or $50 more. And then that person, well, look, I might as well buy the car, So now I think really now things are getting back reality to make sense for everybody. So
yeah, that's important. Okay. I have learned so much about this car process, acquiring the car, whether you lease or buy. And, it may make sense in my personal family to buy the minivan and like lease a corporate car for when I go out, do my dealings in the greater Atlanta area. Who knows, but we'll see. I'm sure I'll document it. I'm sure I'll post about it on social media when the time comes.
And you'll do your massaging and all that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Kalia, I wanted to talk about, I know we're getting there, but on the time, but I do have an ebook that I just dropped back about a couple months ago. And I want people to be able to, I was charging $9.95 for the ebook. Actually it was $19.95. Then I reduced it to $9.95. Then I came with the conclusion that I need to give away something free. And the name of my ebook is Navigating Auto Loans with Bad Credit, a comprehensive guide. And it's free, and you can download it in the audio, and you can do a PDF. It's in English and Spanish. And if you are not in that situation that you have bad credit, but you might know someone else, but you can give them that. But is it okay if I share that with you?
Yes. Well, that's what we do here. We sit together, we promote, we share. So Regina's got this fabulous ebook. We're going to make sure that it gets in the hands of everyone listening. We'll be able to link the way to get it to the description of this episode, along with how you can keep in touch. But before we get to how you can get more of the queen, Regina, it's time for the final word. So this is the time where everyone knows we're wrapping up the episode. Yes. They're like, oh, okay, they're about to get out of their cars, so they're going back to work, or they're starting their day. What is the last thing you want to let marinate in the minds of the listeners?
So the last thing I want to marinate in your mind is that if you want something, don't let anybody tell you what you can't get. It's just figuring out a way you can get it. And the reason I say that is, if I have customers that are looking to lease cars and then they can't lease because of their credit score. Well, a lot of people don't know that if you do an upfront lease, you can make all your payments up front, then you'll qualify for that car that you want. Yeah, it's going to cost you money, but it's going to get you into that lease that you want. As long as you don't have a repossession with GM Financial, or you owe them monies. And even if you owe them monies, you can be able to maybe work out an arrangement with them and get into a lease that you want. But don't let anybody tell you no. Find out a way to get it done. So that's just my word. That's just my word. My word today. Or my last words. Don't let anybody tell you no. If they tell you no now, figure out a way you can get it, whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, or 3 years from now. So that's my words.
I love it.
The refrigerator.
Yes, the queen has spoken, y'all. Don't take no for an answer. No just may mean right now, but do not give up on that dream car that you want. I love it. That's what we're all here all about. Regina, the queen, on behalf of myself And all the listeners here at Crown Level Confidence, thank you so much for taking some of your very, very valuable time to drop this knowledge, because someone here needed to know it. Someone here is looking for their next car, their next phase. I know I am as well. So we've all been blessed. Thank you so very much. Y'all, I'm so thankful that you listened to this episode. I love y'all. And more importantly, I'm so happy that you love me too. All right, we're signing off.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Crown Level Confidence Podcast. I hope you found inspiration and valuable insights that will help you on your path to unstoppable confidence. Remember, you have the power within you to achieve greatness and transform your life. Stay connected by subscribing to the podcast and following us on social media. If you're interested in being a featured guest on the show and sharing your journey of confidence and self-belief, visit KaliaJanae.com to connect with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories, and I'm always excited to meet and showcase remarkable individuals, so don't hesitate to reach out. For details on speaking engagements, mindset coaching, or having a workshop in your office, again, head over to my website, KaliaJanae.com. And don't forget to leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and inspire others to wear their crowns proudly. All right, y'all, keep shining, keep believing, and keep leveling up. Until next time, wear your crown with pride and confidence. Take care.